Okay, awesome. Okay, well, welcome everyone to this webinar in Explearning Academy. Today we're going to talk about table talk at Thanksgiving, how to be comfortable at the table, navigating navigating Thanksgiving conversations with ease and confidence. And these are not just for Thanksgiving. We can absolutely apply them to our Thanksgiving gatherings if you're going to celebrate it this Thursday. But they also apply to any type of dinner or gathering you might have in general. So these are really great strategies to learn. And I'm really excited to share them with you today. We are going to get through as many as possible, and we can always do a follow-up if needed. Okay, so hi everybody. For those of you who don't know me, but I think most people do know me by now, I'm Mary Daphne, and I'm co-founder of Advanced English and Explearning, and I'm head of community at Explearning Academy. And I'm here to empower you with communication strategies, confidence boosting tools and techniques, and executive communication and executive presence strategies to help you be your best, achieve your best, and to reach social fluency. So my background in education is the following. I have 2 masters. One of them is, excuse me, from Columbia University in New York City. And my other master's is from Bhattacharya University. And then I graduated a double major from Hamilton College. I was a double major in French and communication from Hamilton. And so some of my experience that's relevant to sort of, what we do here is the following. Nearly 2 decades. It's been about 16 years in cross-cultural corporate communications, television, live broadcasting, and education, of course. I've been teaching and designing courses focused primarily on communication, social skills, public speaking, English, cross-cultural communication, and business communication for 16 years. Which is a long time, but sometimes, it feels like just yesterday, which is crazy how our concept of time can be so ephemeral sometimes. And my emphasis is on technology, leveraging technology for education, empirical research, data-backed teaching methods for high-value student outcomes so that you get the best of the best of the best. And I also teach teachers how to teach. So I do teacher training, and I've done this both in my hometown, which is New York City, at Columbia University, Baruch College, and Hunter College, and also abroad. And I was a Fulbright grant recipient. So that's what originally took me out to be abroad in a professional context. Before then, I was studying abroad and traveling. So that Fulbright award and grant really allowed me to explore the, corporate world and the education abroad as well. So really great experience. Okay. So what are we? Explearning Academy. What do we do? Who are we? We are in a nutshell, we're a professional development platform for the modern executive. And we do things like we have weekly calendars, we've got daily activities. So there's something to do every single day on our platform, developing all your skills in executive skills, communication skills, social skills, and doing this through reading, writing, listening, speaking. And we also, have a lot of quizzes and quests, and there's a lot that you can do in our community, engaging with others. And then for those of you who are part of our group coaching program, we meet several times a week, and everybody's on camera, and we do these nice group coaching sessions, which I'll talk more about. And, this community is not really about learning English. You do end up learning English and improving your English over time, but this is really about mastering communication, right? Which is extremely important for all of us, including native English speakers. So we also have native English speakers on our platform, because, we're all here to improve our communication, reach social fluency, expand our networks, and, be the best that we can be with our elevated communication skills. So that's really the focus of our community. And of course, your English will improve, but this is not an English language community only. This is more so a professional development platform where our focus is communication, communication, communication. And of course, all the other stuff in between improves. We've got 2 amazing programs. We've got the community and the self-study program. So if you want a fully supported, fully self-guided program, then you can sign up for our Explearning Academy plan. You get access to the web courses, the challenges, the activities, the daily tasks, the weekly calendars, and connection with everybody in our community. And if you want something more, the premier, like even more than what we have in the community, we have the community plus the group coaching program. And this is for, people who really are very serious about working on their communication skills and their executive skills. And we do weekly calls, right, with me and our other executive communication plan members. And that's where we hone communication skills. We share personalized feedback. We connect in a meaningful way. And of course, you have access to the community and the platform. So those are our 2 amazing programs. And who is the Explearning Academy plan for? So for people who want a self-guided and fully supported journey, for, the ability to do these daily tasks and exercises and activities, quizzes, courses, challenges that you can participate in at your own time and your own pacing. So you can do this however you'd like. There is structure, but you can choose to, complete it as you feel and as you see fit for you and your schedule. And you can engage with community members, learn from each other, participate in our live webinars, and even create your own meetings with other members. So it's a lot of fun. There's so much engagement and it's a really great time. And then for the elevated experience, we've got the group coaching program. Again, you get access to the community and the platform. In addition to that, you get our intimate, cozy group coaching sessions, which are truly such a delight. We have incredible people in our program and we all learn from each other, which is so valuable because everyone brings their own expertise, their own ideas, their own worldviews. And together the combination is just like fireworks, right? So this is really for people who are serious about leveling up their leadership skills, their communication skills, who want to practice and increase their confidence. We had one of our members say the other day that she was intimidated by video calls for her work. She had to do them as well. And participating every week, multiple times a week in our group coaching sessions dissolved that fear for her. So she is super confident now to come on for her own job and work, in addition to coming on, our group calls in our community, and is extremely confident and happy to be here. So it just shows that it really does work. This is tried and true methods and it works. And so these weekly calls, we do them from you can be anywhere. We have our participants sometimes, in between meetings, they'll come in, or at work in the morning. They typically tend to be 8 a.m. US Eastern time, which is a great time to really, it's for the go-getters out there. The go-getters, we're all there. We got our morning routines. This immediately puts you in a really productive headspace, in a good mood. And we have great topics that we discuss. We're finishing up our executive excellence group coaching series, and then we'll be moving on to the next exciting thing, which I'm super excited about. And this plan, really, this is the best plan. Well, all of our plans are great, but this plan is the best way to build your network, right? And really get the most out of what we can offer in our community, what we offer. So all the plans are amazing. We have 2 paid plans. They're both great, but it really just depends on what you want. So I highly recommend the group coaching plan if you are, you do want to invest in yourself and commit to a schedule, and you're tired of feeling, like you don't have your confidence where you want it to be. You might be tired of not being able to communicate with anybody at any time about anything. You might not know about the amazing communication strategies and want to practice them in our live calls, where we have simulations and role plays, and where you get that feedback, immediate feedback as well. So these are great plans. All right, so let's just go back now to our scheduled programming. Okay, so we're going to talk about, how do you navigate conversation at a dinner table? And the theme this week is kind of, Thanksgiving. We have that coming up on Thursday. So for those of you who are, celebrating, happy Thanksgiving in advance. And it's a fun, it's a fun little holiday for us Americans. So we're going to talk about conversation starters. Then we're going to move on to navigating tricky topics, because of course there are times where, you're going to need to do a topic shift, change the subject in a graceful way. So we'll talk about how to do that. We'll talk about active listening skills, which of course are quintessential to being an effective communicator. You cannot be an effective communicator without also knowing how to listen well. So we'll talk about that. And then we have a little quiz. So I'm really excited to share this content with you. Okay. So for conversation starters, how does that sound, by the way? What do you think of our lineup? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Yeah, Simon, I don't actually know why that is. Why is Thanksgiving different on a different day in Canada and a different day in the US? If anybody out there knows, feel free to share it in the chat with us. I don't know the answer to that. It's a very good question. Yeah. So when we're talking about starting a conversation, and this also goes for small talk, making small talk, one of the easiest ways of doing this, the low-hanging fruit, right? The easiest way to start and initiate conversation is address the scene, address the scenery. So if you're at a conference and you're trying to network with people at the the pizza event, I don't know, the pizza lunch or whatever, sometimes how they have those lunches, you could easily say, I loved that speech. I loved the plenary speech. What did you think of it? Or this is a beautiful conference venue. Or is this your first time at this conference, right? So you easily address the scene. It's very similar to, what you might say at a lovely dinner. So you could remark on the beautiful centerpiece. Traditionally, we'll have like a centerpiece, like a cornucopia, or some sort of like design, maybe some candles, maybe some pumpkins, something like decorative. We tend to like that. And so you can always comment on that, or the plating, right? You might tell your host or your hostess, wow, this is absolutely beautiful plating. You have such good taste, stuff like that. And then to the people that you're talking to, you're mingling probably before sitting down. You can say, have you been here before? Or is this, your first Thanksgiving in at this location? Or, really commenting on what's around you. You can also, if the food is out, you can comment and say, oh, wow, that pumpkin pie looks amazing. Or I've never had Brussels sprouts that way. I'm excited to try, right? Very easy to do. And it doesn't take much effort, right? It's super easy. So I really suggest you try this one first, because you'll find that there's actually a lot to work with. And then an attitude of gratitude, which is really the theme of Thanksgiving. And I think Simon also mentioned that, which is great. You say how thankful you are that, it could be as simple as, I'm so happy that it's not raining out, or I'm so thankful that my car was able to start in this freezing cold weather. Something like that, where you don't have to get really, really super deep. You can if you want, why not? But it's very easy to just say, positive things, like remarks. Oh, I'm so happy that we're in this warm apartment, or we're in this warm house, right? And oh, I'm so happy to be here with all of you. Things like that. I'm so happy that, it's awesome that, so grateful that. So try to think of a couple things, right? Have those top of mind. And that way, when you're with people and you're in a social interaction, you can pull from one of them, right? And it really, really is very, very easy once you start to get into the mindset of that gratitude attitude. So that's great. All right. Well, hello. We have some people joining us. Very nice to see you, Diana and Adelis. Nice to see you both. All right. Okay. So you can also talk about, certain activities that you've been doing. Talk about hiking. Simon, I always love your examples when you share with us in the group coaching sessions about your hikes. That's a super great, all year round activity, really. But, it could be something like, oh, we recently went on a autumn hike, on a fall hike, or we took a camping trip, and it was really fun. And you could talk about it, Oh, that's so nice, Simon. So thankful to join the Academy and practice communication with us. Yay. Well, we're so thankful to have you practicing with us too and learning from each other. So some fall activities that you've been really enjoying or liking, or, we just had the marathon in New York City. You could talk about maybe training for that or attending that. That's like a big deal, right? People train for it for months, if not like a year leading up to. So that could be something. And you can ask about the other person's fall activities, like, oh, have you been up to anything fun lately? And, you can always use the weather as a segue. So, for example, oh, I can't believe we had snow last weekend. I'm just making this up. We didn't get snow in New York last weekend, but, oh, I can't believe it snowed last weekend. I'm really excited to go sledding. Have you done it? Or I can't wait to go ice skating. Things like that, where you're drawing from some of your interests. And that way that opens up into a discussion about maybe hobbies and interests. And if you're just building rapport with this person, you haven't met them yet, and so you don't know them well, it's a great way to test the waters, right? You learn a little bit about them, you share a little bit about you. Just make sure with these that you're not just doing all the talking, right? You do want it to be a nice blend of speaking and listening. Because if you're just going into that monologue, people will lose interest. And I really wouldn't recommend doing that. And that's not good communication practice. So just something to think about. So what did we think about that? How are you? Which one's your favorite one to start the conversation? Do you like the first one, the second one, or the third one that I shared? What do you think? What are your thoughts? How would you like to initiate a conversation? What do you gravitate towards? Do you find talking about the setting easy? Do you think about, the sports or the fall activities that you like to do? Simon says, I find the first one easier. Yeah, I definitely think so too, Simon, because it's like you just look at your environment, you pay attention to what's going on and draw from that. I think definitely this is the easiest to start with. And then you'll see where the conversation takes you. But that initial first, that's why we call them icebreakers, right? We're breaking the ice. Or, like, what is that dessert? Is it creme brulee, where they brûlé in French, like burned. They burn the top and then they have to like smash it with the spoon. It's kind of like that, creme brulee. So you can think of it that way too. Why not? Good. Okay, so I really encourage you to practice those conversation starters. And now let's move on to what do we do about these tricky topics that might come up, which, they do. And not everyone knows how to communicate well. So by setting an example, you can also, be that person who shows, like, you can take these tips into your Thanksgiving dinner and practice these strategies. So just as a general kind of practice, it's really a good idea, especially if you don't know the people, and especially if you're in a family gathering or a friends gathering, Friendsgiving, we have that too. Try not to talk about these because they can be, a little bit controversial. They can maybe upset people. So it's better not to get into these topics. Avoid these if you can. If somebody brings them up, then we're going to talk about what to do about that. But there's so many other things to talk about. And, you can talk about these things at another time. But when you're in a gathering, you're in a dinner party, you're at a social event, especially if you don't know the people, you don't know how they're going to react, you don't know their worldviews. It's not the time for a debate, in other words, right? there's nothing wrong with talking about these topics in general, like when you want to have a debate, but with a dinner, right? A dinner party, a social event, a gathering, we're trying to make it fun and low key and not, controversial or heated or have it turn into a conflict, right? That's not the goal of these events, right? A lot of times, like for Thanksgiving, you don't see the people there. You don't see them for like months, right? So you want to be mindful and respectful of that. Like people are there to have a good time. So change the subject. You can absolutely change the subject. That's within your power. We're going to talk about 3 ways to do that. So seamless transition with a positive spin. I really like this one because, it shows that you're in control of the way you communicate, which we want to be, right? It shows that you have like a positive attitude about things. Even if something that they said upset you, you can find a way to, see the bright side of something. Do an acknowledgement and shift. This is also a really great one. And then introduction of a neutral topic. So if you notice, for example, somebody might broach the subject of, I don't know, a controversial taboo subject, let's say, and it might not bother you, right? That happens a lot where it doesn't bother you, but the other person that you're in a trio, you're chatting, the other person you can see is visibly upset. Then you can step in and you can change the subject, right? So changing the subject, it doesn't mean that you have to have been offended by this, but you notice as a good communicator, you're picking up on other people's body language, right? You're reading the room. You're noticing that, oh, okay, that comment didn't sit well, or that was an unsavory remark. And then you can change the subject. So, okay, what's a seamless transition with a positive spin? You don't want to say, could we change the subject? That's just very blatant and obvious, and it's not refined, and there's no finesse with that. So we don't want to just, state the obvious. We want to be a little bit more, less direct in a lot of ways. Speaking of that, it reminds me of something interesting I read recently. So you can find a way to tie it into something you read and put a positive spin on it, right? You're not saying you agree or disagree, because that's not the moment to do that, right? But you can find a positive thing and say, look, I read this thing. I would love to share it with you. This phrase is really effective because it smoothly transitions from a current topic to a new one without appearing abrupt, right? The first one with the X on it, the red one, could we change the subject? That's very abrupt. So yeah, you might hear people say this, but it's not a great way to communicate. Instead, we want to be a little bit more subtle, right? Because here you're implying that there's a connection, but even though there's a slight connection, but you somehow found a way to connect the topic. And this is why it's a really good idea to learn, read articles, watch educational YouTube videos, watch TED Talks, read books, so that you always have something to say, right? If we're just scrolling on social media all day, it might be a problem, because then, we don't have anything to comment on other than which celebrity did that, or which friend of yours did that, or what, right? So this is why it's really great to fill our brains with high quality content. And one of the fruits of that labor is to be able to then communicate with people and share things that you learned. We're always sharing high quality content in our community. So it's a great place to get these amazing resources. And I really encourage you to be able to seek that out as well. So always a great thing. Acknowledgement and shift. I don't enjoy this topic. Can we talk about something else? It's very blunt. Okay. And that could be offensive to people. Like people might find that a little offensive or upsetting. Like, oh, you don't like this topic? Oh, well, I'm sorry. Right. So instead of saying that, be a little bit more subtle. That's a really good point, right? Being positive, being open and welcoming, right? On a different note. Okay. So here you notice that these topics you can't find a link between them. Whereas the other one you could, right? You found a link between the other ones. Here, you can't find a link between them. So instead you say, on a different note, on a separate note, have you heard about this? I came across that. Did you know about? I recently stumbled upon blah, 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 blah. So this is when you can't necessarily find some overlap. You say, that's an interesting point you make. But let's switch topics here, right? Basically, that's what you're saying, right? On a different note, have you heard about? So it acknowledges what the person has said, showing that you've listened and considered it, right? You've commented on it. You've said, oh, that's interesting, before gently steering the conversation in a new direction. So this is a topic shift. It's very polite and it does show respect for the speaker's thoughts. The first one, right? I don't enjoy this topic. Can we talk about something else? That does not show respect for the other speaker's thoughts. It does not show that you've actively listened and acknowledged it. You're just thinking about you and how you don't like that, where that's not the best approach. So this acknowledgement and topic shift is a great way to steer the conversation in another direction while also maintaining some rapport and not offending anybody. And then we've got the introduction of a neutral topic. It's always great to have some of these neutral topics in mind because you never know when you're going to need them, right? Conversation is a dynamic, living, breathing thing. It's not scripted. It's not rehearsed. That's actually one of the things I love about conversation and social interaction. It's just, you never know, have you ever had those conversations where you just spend hours and hours talking with people? And then, that's kind of how our group coaching sessions are, right, Simon? Where, we're talking and time passes by so fast. And then all of a sudden you're wondering, oh, how did we get on this topic, right? That happens when you're chatting with friends too. How did we get on this topic or something like that where, oh, it's so interesting. How did we get here again? Or what was it that we originally were talking about? So it's always fun to see that happen. So for a neutral topic, don't say this is making me uncomfortable. I don't know what to say. If you said that, it just might cause some issues, right? Then the person will get defensive. Then it could turn into a thing and turn into a fight. And then suddenly, Thanksgiving becomes a fight. And we don't want that, right? It's not respectful to the other guests. It's not respectful to the host. Thanksgiving meals, I don't know if you've ever made one, but I've helped my in-laws and my parents, do stuff like this. And it's very involved, right? This is not just, making dinner where, you have a lot of mouths to feed. We have certain traditional dishes that we like to make. Takes time, lots of steps. So it would be very disrespectful to start up a conflict. It just would be, right? So even if it's just a dinner party, right? A lot of time and effort and energy went into that. And it's about bringing people together in a nice way. So nobody wants it to turn into a fight or a debate or some, friction. So instead we can say, by the way, I was curious to know your thoughts on blah, 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 blah. So find your neutral topic. Okay. So it could be something that, some interesting pop culture event or something in technology. It could be the rocket, from SpaceX. That was super cool. I don't know if anybody watched that. I certainly did. It was amazing. The biggest rocket that we've ever launched as human beings into space. Incredible. Just incredible. So things like that, right? They're neutral, amazing topics, feats of nature. Yeah, like your favorite cake. That could be great too. But yeah, you can point, something about the food again. So when in doubt, go back to the setting, go back to the scene. Like that's an interesting take on that. By the way, what do you think about this? Have you had some of this pumpkin pie? You can even do that, right? Have you had this pie? You've got to try it. Have you had this cake? You got to try it. It's so good. Let me bring you a slice and then they'll, be quiet. So neutral topics are great. These are really good to have up your sleeve and just on your mind because it's like asking an opinion on a general subject. It's a good way to divert conversation and it works really well in group settings, especially if you don't know, how people are going to get along. Maybe your friend group hasn't met your spouse's friend group or, there's some distant relatives coming to Thanksgiving this year or something, and you don't know what the energy, what the vibe is going to be like, if there's going to be synergy among these groups of people. So it's great where you can have some neutral topics on hand. So what do we think of that? What are our thoughts? I like the one about the cake. That's a good idea too. Simon, what are our thoughts about these topic shifts, like navigating these, situations where we want to be in control, but we don't want to be rude, right? Of course, never. We want to be confident. We want to show that we're in command of the way we communicate. And again, by example, as you do this, other people will pick up on that, right? So even the people who, we all have that one friend who loves debate and loves playing devil's advocate and loves striking up a little bit of friction, right? We all have that friend or that relative or the person that we know, a person like that. So you want to make sure that it's not going to be inflammatory. It's not going to be offensive. It's going to be in control, right? You've got some control that you have there, which you are. So what about active listening? So let's move on to that. One of the most important things is really showing engagement. We can do that through a triple nod, which is literally nodding 3 times in a row fast. And we do this without knowing sometimes when we really are engaged. But if you kind of have to, I don't want to go so far as to say feign engagement, like fake engagement, because that's not really the idea. We do want to be genuinely engaged and find some, relevance to whatever's being discussed. But you can also remind yourself to do a triple nod if it doesn't just come naturally. Then we've got discourse markers like, yeah, sure, oh, right, stuff like that. So I'm exaggerating a little bit with my intonation, but you do that in conversation, and they're a great way to tell the other person, like, I'm listening to you, keep going, this is interesting. And it doesn't have to be long. These are just discourse markers. So those are fun. You can practice those. And do it in your own intonation. You don't have to copy mine, but they're really fun. They're really fun. Okay. And then there's leaning in, right? Where you physically lean in. So this is easier to do when you're kind of sitting or at a desk, right? You want to lean in. But when you're standing, that could also mean just taking a step closer to the person or the people, right? When we step back, it's like, I'm disengaged. I'm not having a good time. I'm going to leave. That's what our body language is saying. So there's so much that we can say with our body language. So much. Our bodies are very chatty. They tell a lot about us, right? Even when we don't say anything or we're not communicating or we think we're not communicating, we are. Even silence we're communicating through silence. So asking open-ended follow-up questions. These are so wonderful to do because it shows that you're engaged in what the person has to say. So we can do this through exploring experiences. We can do this by delving into opinions, but again, being in it respectfully, doing that. Like if you know somebody's going to have a very charged, maybe controversial opinion about something controversial, you probably don't want to ask them their opinion about that thing, right? You don't want to do that because then you're going to stir the pot, as we say in English, stir the pot, which is like cause some friction. We don't want to do that. But then, also understanding feelings. So, what did you think about that? Or how did you feel doing that? This is a great way because people love talking about themselves, right? That's just, we all love talking about ourselves. That's just the thing. It's kind of the reality. So tapping into that is a very good strategy. Okay. Exploring experiences. So that sounds really interesting. Can you tell me more about how you got involved in that? Right? Very positive, very interested. It invites the speaker to share more about what the personal journey looked like. They can talk about their details doing that, what the experience was like. So this is a great one. We've got, what are your thoughts on blah, 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 blah. How do you think it will evolve in the future? So they could be a subject matter expert. They could be just somebody who reads a lot. They have a lot of opinions about things. They're knowledgeable about different topics. So you can ask their opinion about it. And that way, they can also think about the future possibilities, future thoughts that they might have, which can turn into a more in-depth discussion, right? Our goal is never just to stay in small talk, right? Our goal, small talk is about breaking the ice, right? Getting past that initial yikes, right? The initial like, oh, what do I say? Right? Then you move into the real meat of the conversation, the beyond surface level talk. So this is something like this is good, right? Doing something like this, because it will turn it into a full-fledged discussion, fully fledged. And then understanding feelings. This is great, especially for the empathetic communicators out there. If you're somebody who's more, you have like, emotional resonance, and you have a lot of ways of talking about your feelings and addressing other people's feelings, and you have a lot of empathy, this is a great one to do too, right? Like, how did that experience make you feel? And what impact has it had on your perspective? Like, how has your perspective changed? You can say stuff like that, right? Because it really values what the other person felt and what the impact was of that experience on their life. Showing interest in their feelings and reflections. Again, this deepens the level of conversation. So we're beyond that surface level small talk, which is great. Okay. Quiz time. Okay, let's see what we have in the chat. Simon, really good suggestion. Something I have no idea about the topic, so it drives me to be silent. Right. Yeah, exactly. Changing topic techniques work really fine. Exactly. Like, there could be something where you might not have much to say on, right? Because, they're talking about nuclear power, and you just, you've heard about it, but you don't really know that much to have an informed opinion. But then guess what? You'll be able to research it, learn about it. And the next time you see that person, knowing they're interested in nuclear energy, you can talk about that with them, right? So you're always thinking, right? What can we learn? How can we learn? Thanks, Michael. That's great. Glad to have you here. All right. So I think we're ready for a quiz. So let's do this. What is a recommended way to initiate a conversation during Thanksgiving dinner, or any dinner party, gathering, social event? You get the idea. Discussing let's try that again. A, discussing controversial topics like politics. B, complimenting the food and asking about recipes. C, talking about personal financial matters. D, asking about medical histories. What do you think? A, B, C, D. Okay. Very nice. Good job. It is B. Well done. Not to say that people don't talk about these other topics, but again, if we're trying to be polite and we're being a socially savvy communicator, reading the room, we're socially fluent, B. It would be B. Okay. Which of the following is considered a safe topic for Thanksgiving conversations? Again, you can replace Thanksgiving here with any kind of gathering where there's disparate friend groups or disparate, groups of people. Like, they don't know each other. You don't know who's going to mix well with whom. You don't know if everyone's going to hate each other or love each other, or right. You just don't know. There's a lot of question marks. So you want to steer clear of those controversial topics and really err on the side of safe. So do we talk about religious beliefs? Do we talk about gratitude and what we're thankful for? Do we talk about criticizing other guests, or like, oh, look what she did with her hair, or ugh, what is he wearing? That's so rude. We wouldn't want to do that. It's not very nice. D, debating current events. Oh, I just gave away one of them, didn't I? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ruby. Safe topic out of these. Nice, safe topic to discuss. Okay, good. Goody gumdrops. B. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. How can you gracefully change the subject if it becomes uncomfortable? So this was when we talked about the topic shifts, right? The 3 amazing strategies to use for that. And definitely, you should definitely rewatch this to, really feel like you got those strategies down pat. And practice them. And of course, if you're in our group coaching program, we'll be practicing, of course. So they're fun to practice. Okay. Abruptly leaving the table. So just getting up and storming off. Introducing a neutral topic, asking about common interests. Telling the speaker they're wrong. Ignoring the speaker, just giving them the silent treatment. Stonewalling them. What do you think? Okay. Nice. B, again. Okay. What is an important aspect of active listening demonstrated during conversations? Frequently interrupting to share your own stories. Nodding and showing interest through body language. Planning what to say next while the other person is talking. Frequently checking your phone. Everyone's got their phone on them these days, right? Okay. Thanks, Rui. Thank you, Michael. Okay, should we see? Okay, thanks, Simon. All right, good job, everybody. B. Good. So while C is tempting, we want to refrain from doing this, right? This happens when we might not feel confident in the conversation, and we might want to feel like we need to impress this person, but don't do it, because that's just going to be a recipe for disaster. Because yeah, all answers are B right now. I know, making a little tricky answers. But you don't want to do this, because then they're going to catch on, and two, you're going to miss a lot of the conversation. Okay. Which of the following is a key takeaway for navigating Thanksgiving dinner conversations? Avoiding the dinner entirely to prevent any awkwardness. So even though you really want to go to Thanksgiving, you decide not to because you don't want to have to interact with people. Can you imagine though? Can you imagine, because of the fear of social interaction and having social anxiety to this degree, somebody would forfeit the pleasure of getting together with people, eating delicious things, having a great time, all because of the fear of interacting. And I'll tell you, this is real. This is a real fear. So if that's you, please come join us. We will help. We will help. Focusing solely on your own experiences and stories, just talking about yourself, being respectful of different backgrounds, showing empathy, making sure to dominate the conversation. So just talking the whole time, not letting anyone else talk. What do you think? There are people who do this. Yes, indeed. Okay, Michael, thank you. Ruby, thank you. Good job, everybody. What do we have? Anybody else? C. Good job. Well done. So, okay, Simon, I was like that, although I love communicating. The fear of talking made me stay away. Yeah. And you would never guess that, because Simon is one of our, MVP people in our community. She's in our group coaching program, very confident, very interactive. So you would never guess that. But I guess, again, coming in the community, doing all the things that we do, really committing and practicing and showing up, you transform in a good way, right? We become more confident. We become more engaged. Our social anxiety goes down. Our confidence goes up. So it's really remarkable. It's really, really great. And, we're not obsessed with perfection and trying to do everything right, because that just that's not life. No one speaks their native language perfectly either, right? Anyway, we're going to talk more about that at length. But yeah, the Academy boosts your confidence, Simon. Awesome. Well, we love having you. It boosts all of our confidence, because we're all getting to interact and talk with each other. It's amazing. So we have the 33-day executive challenge. That is one of our challenges that we have. And we have more challenges coming up, which I'm really excited about. So this is definitely for somebody who wants to have that professional polish, who wants to elevate leadership skills. Even if you're somebody who, you might be self-employed, or you might be a freelance person, or you might have like a gig economy job, or you might be a YouTuber, or you might be have a side hustle, or you might be a corporate employee, or you might be a CEO. We have all those people doing the challenge right now. And, this will be a place to help you master your communication, increase your confidence, learn strategies that you can apply right away. So we've got lovely modules here, nicely organized for you, and you can go in and learn them. And then we have assessments as well. So you get to test your knowledge of the concepts that you learned. We have multiple assessments and then a cumulative assessment. So you get to do that. And then you get to interact with people in the forum. And then, of course, if you're in our group coaching program, you come in and we talk about the executive excellence topics that we have for us, which is also really fun. So do you feel like you lack professional polish? You know, maybe it's something in the way you say it or the way you don't say it, or you don't feel like you're in command of your body language, or you don't love your tone of voice. You don't feel like you're assertive enough. You know, you have the subject matter down pat, but the way you present it maybe is not cutting it for people, or is not cutting it for you. And you really want that promotion. You really want that next, next step up the ladder. You might be struggling with authenticity. You might feel like, oh, everyone else is talking and looking this way. I need to do that too, but it's not really you. There are different ways to be an executive. You don't have to be a cookie cutter image of any like corporate mold. Not necessary. And we have many examples in leadership of that, right? No two leaders are alike. Social anxiety and low confidence. This is a huge one. A lot of people have this. We all have this. And so really finding a way to overcome it is crucial. And through creating this academy, we have the answer for you. It's about participating, coming in, participating, being active, engaging with the community. And if you're in the group coaching plan, engage with the community and with us in our sessions, and use it. Use our platform. That's what it's for. That's what it's designed for. So practice. This is how you're going to become a modern executive, through lots of practice. Practice makes perfect, right? These are some snapshots of our live calls, nice small groups. So we're able to, everybody have, conversations. We're able to, share things, and it's a wonderful time. Get a lot of feedback, participate, learn from each other. So if you're an entrepreneur growing your business, you might be a freelancer pitching clients and getting clients. Maybe you have like an Instagram business that you're growing, or a work from home, you're an exec, work from home, managing remote teams and driving change in your organization. Our academy is for you. There's a lot of different types of modern executives out there, right? This could also be somebody running a household and is looking to get back into maybe, the job market, that too, right? So we're all modern executives if we want to be, and we equip you with the tools and the strategies to be able to do that. So it's more than just, boosting your career. It's a life-altering skill that's really going to help you with your social lives, with your professional lives. And, the global landscape is ever changing. It's constantly evolving, especially with technology being so prominent, being able to be adaptable, being able to adapt, making up words here, being able to adapt, having that adaptability, right? Being flexible, adaptable, and authentic, that is what comprises an effective communicator. These aren't just trendy buzzwords that you hear. These are real necessities. They're must-haves. These will allow you, we equip you with tools and strategies and the confidence to help you navigate complex challenges, to help you create meaningful connections. There's studies that come out that show us how, like, the loneliness epidemic, there is an epidemic of loneliness, people feeling disconnected, and social media doesn't help. Guess what does help? Being part of a community, being part of an amazing, welcoming, dynamic, global community that drives connection. So we have these sessions. Even if you're not in our group coaching program, you still have connection because you're interacting with people. And you can also host your own event. There's so many ways of connecting, and our community is a really amazing way, especially if you're, maybe you just moved to a new place, you don't have any friends, or you have a lot of friends, but you can't see any of them, or you don't connect the same way. You will connect with the people in our community. They're such amazing people. I love every single one of them. It's just so amazing to be able to learn from each other and have that connection. So what do we get? We get in our membership, we've got the self-paced web courses, we've got the live video calls, we've got the live webinars, got the monthly challenges, the weekly calendars, the global professional community, speaking opportunities, which is really great for your confidence, daily professional development, quizzes, quests, writing activities, reading, speaking, listening, executive communication, social skills, professional skills. We do it all. So when you join, if you join now and you sign up, you can join the group coaching experience if you do want that. It's a great way to really level up for sure. And you'll feel that right away. And you'll also see that with people around you. Like people will give you that feedback as well. Get advice when you need it. Benefit from our small focus group coaching sessions, allowing for personalized feedback and a really supportive community, and get to master the nuances of effective communication. So you can access it on your devices, on your tablets, on your phones, on your desktops, on your laptops, on your iPads, wherever you like to learn. And it's really great. I had a member tell me that she loves having the app because in between meetings and transition times, she gets to check and comment on things and connect with members and even join video calls, very easy to do from your phone, but also very easy to do from, your tablet or your computer. So that's always nice. Okay. So the Explearning Academy plan, like I said, this is a self-guided and fully supported journey. So, we're there with you. This is your gateway and you can sign up for that program. Then we've got the Executive Communication Lab group coaching program. This is really for the people who are really serious about investing in themselves and about leveling up their leadership skills. So, we meet multiple times a week. So it would be great for you to, if you do join this, we do expect you to show up. It would be, that's the thing to do, right? Because we want to be able to interact with you. And that means live video calls with me and other plan members where we hone communication skills, share personalized feedback, have a lot of fun. We do simulations and all these fun things. This plan is the best way to build your network and get the most out of what our community has to offer. And you can try our 1 week free trial. Yay. Yeah. So we do have that. And this is an opportunity for you to actually use the platform, right? I don't want you to sign up for the free trial and then never use it. That would just be too bad. It'd be kind of sad. If you sign up, I want you to use it. I want you to come to our sessions, depending on which plan. If you sign up for the group coaching plan, then you can come to our group coaching sessions, free for a week, which is, already tremendous value. And I would love to see you there. We would love to meet you. And that's what you can do. You can sign up and get a 1 week free trial. So take it from the members in the community. If you don't take it from me, take it from our actual, real, true members in our community. Simon says, I joined Explearning Academy. Here, let me make this bigger because I can't see it. I joined Explearning Academy just 2 months ago, and I'm absolutely amazed by the progress I've achieved in refining my workplace skills and boosting my confidence in starting conversations within the English-speaking community. Attending every live session and actively, I love this, right? Actively participating. Where am I? Actively practicing real communication skills has not only enhanced my English proficiency, but has also been invaluable for improving my overall communication abilities. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for our teacher, Mary Daphne. Thank you so much, Simon, for her guidance and support. Having incredibly knowledgeable instructors who encourage you to seize opportunities has been the golden key that Explearning Academy has provided me. I wholeheartedly recommend Explearning Academy to everyone seeking success in today's fast-paced world. So beautifully put, Simon. Love that. Really encapsulates the heart of what we do here. Sida says, throughout most of my life, I've battled social anxiety. She's not alone. We've all been there. Joining the Explearning Academy has empowered me to overcome my fears and shut down my BS. Each baby step in this supportive environment has been transformative, boosting my confidence in both personal and professional interactions. Really also greatly put. Saval says, both Mary Daphne and all the members of the community are so sweet and smiling that you never get bored. You don't understand how time flies. With this community, I had the opportunity to improve my communication skills as well as my language. I have the opportunity to see and correct my mistakes with frequent community meetings. That's true. Helder says, I had to give a work presentation and I use the tips I learned from the community and everybody loved it. This community is different because it's not just about learning English. It also focuses on practical communication skills and real life situations. That's right. I did mention that, right? This is not your typical traditional English language learning platform. Those are a dime a dozen. You can find those everywhere and everywhere. We do something different. This is for native English speakers and L2 English speakers who want to level up their communication skills, their social interaction, increase their confidence, decrease their social anxiety, be able to communicate in workplace environments just as easily as they would in casual social settings, navigating complex topics, doing things that really, foster connection. So that's Explearning Academy. Yay, love that. Okay, Raquel says, I don't get to use English in my daily life, so I find it very enriching to have the opportunity to exchange with people from different countries and to learn about their customs and opinions on current affairs. Being in small groups allows us to be active in discussions and to lose our fear of public speaking, which is social anxiety. And MD is always there to push us and help us if we hesitate or don't know an expression. Yeah, that's very true. Medea says it nice and short and sweet. She goes, best investment, you won't regret it. So that's really fun. And then we've got Maribeth. Explearning Academy is very different from any training I've attended so far. Talking in small groups and everyone in the group participating in the conversations increases my self-confidence in speaking English in different social situations. MD encourages everyone to speak in workshops and discussion sessions. She takes care of everyone individually and takes great care so that everyone benefits. So that's really, again, people pointing out that they love the small intimate group coaching sessions where focused, tailored feedback happens. Dom goes, Explearning Academy is the best enrollment I've ever done in a training program. I'm here to improve my professional English skills, executive communication, and social skills. I believe this is a great tool and more people should join. That's so fun. I really enjoy the workshops Mary Daphne delivers in her paid membership. I encourage people. So he's talking about the group coaching program, by the way. I encourage more people to sign up. I clear my schedule to participate in these workshops. Yes, that's right, Dom. Okay, Ishika goes, my goals are to become more socially savvy and build emotional intelligence with people. Mary Daphne is an excellent teacher and communicator. Her skills surely rub off on you as she eases you into better habits and makes everyone feel very comfortable as the instructor and facilitator. I'm already experiencing subtle shifts by learning from everyone in MD. Learning from everyone. See, we all do it together. We're learning together. The community's international diversity is a perfect practice ground to interact in multicultural settings. So I grew up in New York City and everybody's international. We're all international, which is so cool. And that's how the world is becoming too, right? Global society. So this being able to interact with people from all over the world is a critical communication skill to have. So multicultural settings, that's what we want. We need to be able to do that. So Ishika goes, I feel comfortable to say things without thinking too much as long as I put it across with integrity and grace, something that Explearning Academy integrates in its modules. Yes. Edwin says, the style of interaction can't talk today, you guys. Hold on. I guess I've been talking for over an hour, huh? Let's take a sip of water and reset. Okay. Edwin says, the style of interaction in Explearning is cutting edge. I love how he used this expression. It's so great. Cutting edge. Yes, Edwin, way to go. Incorporating innovative elements of teaching a second language. My speaking skills have already improved in my daily interactions, and I have surpassed some typical barriers of learning a new language. Every day in live discussions, I learn new words, expressions, and discussion items, which I use afterwards in real life settings. Keyword, right? These are relevant. These are things, just like I shared some strategies in this webinar. These are things you will actually use in real life. I'm like raising my voice here because I'm so passionate about this. These are real strategies that you will be able to use. They're not irrelevant. They're relevant. You'll be able to use them. So they make sense, right? And they help us right away. So Edwin talks about using these right away. He's like, I can't not use these, my friends. I have to use them. So exactly. So we've got the Explearning Academy plan, $20 a month, or you can save 17% and sign up for the full year at a, good, nice big discount. This is the self-study, fully supported journey. We are with you every step of the way. We also do, community coffee calls, which you just had one, which was really fun. We're going to do our next one in December. Super fun. And then we've got our group coaching program. That's $50 a month and $420 a year. This price will be going up at some point, so I would get in while you can. The people who are in, we will have the same price. The price will not go up for them, the people who are already in this program. So that's good. You guys, the people who are there will keep that price. But I really recommend joining this if, again, you want to connect with a group of amazing people every week, multiple times a week. If you want to really work on your social anxiety, your communication, increase your confidence for being able to talk in workplace scenarios, because we do it all. We do the social fluency, we do the workplace executive communication, a mix of both. So you know how to navigate social scenarios with ease and with confidence. That's the name of the game, my friends. So fun. So Simin is one of our proud members of our Executive Communication Lab group coaching plan. And she says, definitely worth more than that. The best investment ever. That's so wonderful, Simin. I definitely think so too. This is a very advantageous price point. You get a lot of value. It's so great. I love all you guys. Okay. See you inside. Maybe, hopefully. I would love to welcome you. We will all love to welcome you. So just sign up at academy.explearning.co. And once you're inside, if you're interested, you can upgrade. So if you have a free membership, you can upgrade. And you can actually, really commit and do all the things that we love to do. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Well done on carving out time, making some time for, learning and committing to personal and professional growth. So for those of you who are celebrating Thanksgiving on Thursday, happy Thanksgiving. May the spirit of gratitude and connectivity and, being with loved ones resonate throughout your week and year. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you here in the community. Bye, everybody.